This is a really critical moment for the Millennium Development Goals. Road traffic injuries are not part of the MDG framework, but they have a very direct impact on many of the goals.
It's a huge problem in Kenya, it's a huge problem in Africa. If we do not look at the issues of road accidents and the incidents that surround that, then we are not going to get our goals met as a nation.
So we're in Kibera, which is one of the biggest slums in Nairobi. In fact, it's one of the biggest slums in the whole of Africa. And it may not look like it. So this is a school of around 370 children. All of the kids talk about here is the direct threat to their lives, to their well-being, to their health, to their education, that's posed by the threat of injury on roads. Just on the other side of this road, we've got 5 primary schools and 2 secondary schools that kids from the slums on this side of the road have to cross every morning. They're taking their young lives into their hands in order to get a right to education. So, how many of you have been involved in a road accident? I think what you see here in microcosm is really what the Millennium Development Goals are all about. One of the Millennium Development Goals is about universal primary education, and here you've got a bunch of kids who are struggling against desperate odds to secure their right to an education. But I think what this has really brought home to me is that there are real lives that are being destroyed here, and lives that are being destroyed at enormous cost.
I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw my son was on the road. I felt so much sad. I fainted there. The doctor said he has already gone because the neck was already broken.
We are pumping billions of dollars annually into the road systems of countries like Kenya and treating road safety as a small change issue. And the consequence of that, the consequence of northern donors, of the World Bank, of the UN system, turning its back on road safety, is that people are getting killed.
When children are maimed, when they are killed for these tragic reasons, whether it's the lack of road safety or the lack of access to clean water, it devastates communities and it perpetuates the cycle of poverty. And so breaking all of these causes of unnecessary death and suffering, all of them together are crucial for achieving the Millennium Development Goals and helping communities and nations to break free of the poverty trap.
And this is what we are saying. Something can be done about it. And so many people can be saved from this. So many millions can be saved from it if something is done about it.
I think numbers are numbers, but when you look into the face, into the eyes of a young woman clutching onto her child and knowing that she has to survive because this baby desperately needs her, you know that you can't step away to prevent something like this from ever happening again.
Well, there's been a very serious accident reported on the M1 outbound involving 2 cars. Many of the motorists are still trapped in those vehicles. Emergency services are on the scene. I'll bring you further details in the next report. Traffic line in the meantime is 083.
I think if you look around, this is a community where their homes and their schools are over the other side. A high-speed road, cars not stopping, not slowing down, nothing to tell them and to stop them. And these kids, if you look at them, they are going to cross this heavy junction looking from right, left, behind with nothing to help them. And they do this every morning. Somewhere around the world at this moment, sadly, there is a child hurt or killed just because they're going to school. For God's sake, we have to stop this.
This is the emergency trauma.
This is the emergency trauma room. Here we receive the most severe trauma patients or are all, and to see their parents outside crying, asking for, please
Save their life.
yes, save the life of our kids. So it's a very dramatic place. It's the place where lives change. Not only the lives of their parents, also our lives, because when kids die here, it's not the same after that.
Visiting the hospital wards, I was able to hear from those who had been directly affected by road accidents. I met Katia, whose son Ronald, while cycling to school on a busy road with no cycle path, was struck by a vehicle. His injuries were so severe that he was not expected to survive, but miraculously he did. Katia is still traumatized by what happened, but is utterly determined to prevent this happening to other children.
Bueno, en mi lugar es lo más doloroso.
My situation is so painful.
Es algo
There are no words to explain the pain you feel when you are on the brink of losing a child, or the pain of those mothers who already lost a child. There are no words to try and communicate the pain you feel when you have lost a child because of narrow roads or the lack of safe public transport to take them to school.
I realised that I loved travelling and I was very curious about the world. There was a lot I wanted to see. And what I have noticed just in the 20 years I've been travelling, of course, is the enormous growth in the numbers of cars. Every community anywhere in the world I've been to wants to have a car. I think that's something which road builders, road planners, urban planners, governments really need to be aware of. You just don't put a road down. There are people who are going to be affected by that road. And as I say, very often these people are the least able to deal with speed, with cars, with vehicles. And the road makers have a big responsibility to make sure that people can travel safely.
So for them to get from here over to there, they have to go all the way across like that? And you think the people will have the patience?